we are going to talk about money management, and like I said, this is one of my most exciting topics. And you guys are going to learn all kinds of things. So here's the thing. Why did we all start Mary Kay, basically? Money. Did anybody here not start for money? Okay, well, we got that on the table. Okay, we all started for money. And a lot of consultants quit Mary Kay because of money, okay? And so I really like to talk about this, and you can ask lots of questions because I want to make sure you're so clear on this, because you can mess it up easy, okay? I've done it. I'm going to tell you my experience in a little bit. But, okay, so the ultimate goal is for you to profit and make money to use elsewhere, right? Your ultimate goal is to go out, sell product, hold skincare classes so that you can use that money. Maybe you want to pay off debt. Maybe you want to quit your job. Maybe you want shoe money. Maybe you move into a new house. I remember moving into a new house and I wanted, you know how you have that room that no one sits in with the couches no one sits on, but you want them? Remember when I moved into our new house, I saw these green suede couches with like mahogany wood, and I was like, oh, it was like $1,000 for both couches. And I said, you know what, I know I can go out this week, and I held like 6 classes in a week and paid cash for them. So this is where it gets really exciting. So here's another thing I want you to know. Mary Kay is a business, right? Okay, Mary Kay is a business. You are an independent contractor with the right to control your own business. What kind of contractor are you?
Independent.
Okay, what kind? I couldn't hear you.
Independent.
Okay, so you're an independent contractor. And I say this with love. This is my tough love for the night. I'm not very good at tough love, so this is the best I can do, but it is no one's fault but your own if you are not making money in Mary Kay. Okay? And I know when I was having problems, I took personal responsibility for it. And so here's the thing. This is why it's so important to get in control of it now. It doesn't matter where you've been. If you've been in Mary Kay 10 years, 5 years, a week and a half, like you girls, you need to get control of it right away. And I just want to tell you about a conversation I had with a consultant this week. It made me very sad, okay? It was a consultant in someone else's unit. And she had called me because her director encouraged her to call me because she wants to go into DIQ, which is directorship qualification. And this director thought that I would be a good person to talk to because I'm young and she's young. And so I'm like, okay, that's great. I've done that before. So I'm talking with this girl and I said, gosh, what's holding you back from starting something like Mary Kay? Or for just going for it. She doesn't have kids. She, just lost her job. Like, it's the perfect time for her to go into DIQ. She's like 1 active away from going into DIQ. You need 8 active. And I'm like, why don't you just go for it? And you know what she said? She said, I started with a $600 inventory, and I've been reinvesting everything, and I don't feel like I'm making money, and I don't feel like if I became a director, I would make money in Mary Kay. And I was like, have you ever filled out a business tracking register? She didn't even know what that was, okay? So it doesn't matter what level you're at. I mean, that just made me so sad because there is money to be made, and here's what else I want you to know. I'm going to show you a couple things tonight. And I'm going to show you how you do not need to be a national necessarily to create massive amounts of wealth for you and your family. You can do it being a consultant, selling the product. I'm going to show you how to do it. And so I'm going to talk about 2 things. I'm going to talk about inventory and money management, and then I'm going to talk about wealth accumulation, and it's called Freedom First. Like, I know a lot of you guys have seen it before, but I'm going to go through that. And it's a great way to either pay off debt, be able to pay off your house, be able to just have freedom in your life. Because wouldn't you guys agree that true freedom, I mean, can you imagine your life without anything? Like, no credit card debt, no car payment, your house is paid off. Can you imagine? But isn't that true freedom? Because if you have everything paid off and your husband loses his job, okay, doesn't matter. You're free. You don't have these debts that you need to pay people. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to do that too. But I just want to give you an example of my awesome money management. When I started as a consultant, I came in with a $3,000 inventory. Okay, I'm just telling you that so you can have some numbers. And what happened was I was selling a lot. I held a power start, then I did a power stop for 2 months, and then I decided to really pick up my business. And what happened was I wasn't tracking my money. You don't know what you don't track. Okay, so I was just sort of guessing, like I guess I sold this much, so I guess I should order this much. What happened, I see a lot of consultants do this, and maybe you've done this. I was over ordering, didn't realize it, all of a sudden I have $800 on a credit card. Like debt from over ordering. No one's fault but my own, right? But it was there. So I just want you to know too, I am a safe person that you can come and your director is to go and talk to about this. So if you are having issues regarding your Mary Kay business, like the money management side of your Mary Kay business, okay, now is the time. I know it takes a lot of courage to kind of come up and say, gosh, I'm really struggling with, I don't feel like I'm making money, I don't feel like I'm paying myself, whatever. Your director wants to help you with that. And I want to help you with that, because if you can get control of it now, I mean, I figured it out after a while, but some people never figure it out, and they get frustrated. So, you guys okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so, there are 3 situations that I see consultants and directors getting themselves into. Okay, I'm gonna write these down because they're fun. So these are the 3 main things that I've seen. Okay, so the first one is, okay, you are wanted by the FBI, and you are sent to prison for embezzlement. Okay, you are embezzling from yourself. Imagine yourself as Target. Okay, you are Target. Mary Kay, you're Target. Okay? Now, let's say you're working at Target because you're your own Target. Would you ever take money out of the cash register? No. But we do that with our own businesses. Okay, so we do this by under-ordering to replace our product or using money out of your Mary Kay checkbook to pay for stuff. Guilty. How many times have you, now if you don't know this, you should have a separate checking account for Mary Kay. How many of you who've been in Mary Kay, you might have done this, where you're at McDonald's and you're like, oh, I'll just use my Mary Kay debit card. Have you ever done that? Just use your Mary Kay money for lunch or for clothes, or have any of you ever done that? I've done it. Deb, have you ever done it?
The only time I've done it was when I forgot my real one, and it's
Yeah.
the only thing I had.
Yeah, I've totally done it. Guilty as charged, okay? And the reason I like to talk about this is it's like Target or Walmart, their goal isn't to sell the product off the shelf and not reorder it. Their goal is to move the inventory off the shelf, restock the shelf, sell the inventory again, restock the shelf. That's what we're doing, okay? Second situation I see, you are homeless and living on the street. This is my examples. You are over ordering product. You're spending tons of money on Section 2. You have no idea where your money is going and what you're doing with it. Now, if you didn't know this, you should always try, let's say you place a product order, your Section 2, what's Section 2? Samples, gifts, the stuff that doesn't make you money. You don't make a profit on Section 2, you're not supposed to even sell it, it's like samples and stuff. You should never spend more than 5% of an order on Section 2. So let's say, for example, you place a $200 wholesale order, 5% of that is $10. Okay? I've seen new consultants come into Mary Kay and they place their first order, because I placed the order, and then they place their second order, and they're placing like maybe a $400 or $600 order, but then they're spending $200 and $300 on Section 2. You do not need a sample of everything. You don't. The look cards, you can add things as you go, do it gradually. Now I realize sometimes you need travel roll bags, and that kind of messes this up because those are $13. So sometimes you need to order more, but just always, like sometimes what I'll do, I'll place an order and then I'll like rethink it. Like, gosh, do I really need all that Section 2? And go back and kind of take some of it out. Be careful with Section 2. Rein yourself in on it. There's some neat stuff in there, but just know that. Okay, and then the third situation is you are happy and fulfilled and you have great energy when it comes to money and you're excited about your business because you're making money. Don't you get excited about Mary Kay when you're making money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, here are some things that we tell ourselves. But before I do that, here's some things we tell ourselves about money. Okay, the first one is, I'll pay off my credit card someday. Okay, when I get that, I just know if I can get that big commission check or I can get that big skincare class, it'll just take care of everything, and I'll just be able to like pay off my card because I'm gonna have this big class, this big commission check someday. Okay, and what happens is, you keep doing that and you keep saying, oh, when I just get that next commission check, when I just get that next thing, I'll be able to pay off my credit card. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing we tell ourselves is, well, gosh, you know what? I started with inventory, right? And so I'm going to put all of my money towards paying off that inventory before I buy any more product. Okay, because I need to pay off that loan. Like, that's what I need to do. Another situation I see is I didn't start with inventory, so I need to reinvest everything. Like, I just need to hold all these classes, reinvest everything, and build up this huge store. And then the last thing, this one's really sad. Only sales directors make really good money in Mary Kay. Okay? You can make really good money as a consultant. Mary Kay, how long have you been in Mary Kay?
5.5 years.
5.5 years. You sell a lot, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I have, yes.
Yeah, good. So you need, bottom line is this, you need to pay yourself. Okay, who held a selling appointment this last week? Okay. Deb, what did you pay yourself? Exactly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I would have to look at I recorded it on my thing, but I don't know. I'll be
Okay.
honest, I don't know. And I should.
Yeah, it's
But I
okay.
don't.
I'm just making a point. Carrie, how
Yeah.
much did you pay yourself?
I
know
do
you're
that.
doing, so I'm not picking on you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
And
do
I
that.
could go around a room, even sales directors. I could go around a room of sales directors, they probably wouldn't know to the exact amount what they paid themselves. So it's important to know what you're paying yourself. So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to track it with a business tracking register. No, where did I put mine? Crap, I printed off. I'm not looking here. I might have thrown it in here. Printed off. Oh, here we go. Oh, I printed off the same of these. Okay, apparently I only printed off one. Actually, Candace, can I have you?
but
Oh, do you? That's okay. I just want them to be able to see see what it looks like. Now, this is on my website. These are Candace's. I'm going to give you examples. So you might want to take out a blank piece of paper because I'm going to give you some real life examples. So I'm going to give you 4 different sales tickets. These are my customers. You guys might have to share, but I don't know how many of these I need. Here you go. Did I give you? No. There's the other 2. Can you guys share?
Really? That's the thing. You should consider that towards the card.
You guys have to share this.
From my initial.
Okay, so these are my 4 sales tickets. Now, here's what I suggest. You print a whole bunch of these off. They're on my website. Under training, it says the 2 most important money management sheets you need. My website is mkemily.com. And you know where you keep this? You keep this right in your money bag. And you do this after every class. You're gonna love this. Okay, so I'm gonna explain how to do this. It doesn't look that tricky, but there's some things you need to know, because it's not too hard. Okay, so first thing, you write the customer name. That's easy, right? Nobody's confused there. So the first customer, Algeria. Column A. I'm gonna explain the columns quick. Column A, total retail product. Here's what I want you to think of with this. Not how much money you collected, that's a different column. This is physically, picture yourself going into your inventory closet, picking out the product. How much product did you give her? I don't care how much money you got for the product, right? How much product did you take off your shelf? So if you look at Algeria, she didn't have any discounts and anything. So the total retail product, I gave 3 eyeshadows, a black eyeliner, a lip gloss, and 2 lip glosses. So the total retail product was $55.50. Okay. Sales tax I collected. This is an easy one. There's no discounts or anything, so I'm going to give you a bunch of both. So just write down your sales tax. Now, for the new consultants in the room, you need to collect sales tax on the full retail amount. So let's say you sell $100 in product to your mom, but you give her a $20 discount. So really, she's giving you $80 for $100. Does that make sense? You need to charge her sales tax on the $100, not on the $80. You need to recover your sales tax from the company. Column C is money in hand. So that's sales tax plus total retail product. just the total money she gave me, basically. Column B is your 60% account. Your 60% account is what you reorder with and pay your preferred customer program, which, by the way, enrollment is through the 15th for that. Okay. And your events and things like that. So now look at this easy formula. Anybody confused by this? 60% times A, column A, plus B. Okay, so this total will be $36.91. Is anyone confused by that? Okay, it's not too, I mean, just follow the little column. Okay, and then business income is your last column. C minus D it says. So I just subtracted money in hand minus your 60% account. So $22.20 on this sale. Now here's what I want you to know. If you are working to pay off your initial inventory, your loan payment comes out of here, not out of here. You need to replace how much product you took off your shelf. Even if you, now if you want to get really good about this, even if you take product off the shelf for yourself, that still needs to get replaced. Otherwise, you are depleting your inventory. You guys don't want to do that, do you? No. That's why we start with inventory, because we want to have it on hand. So, okay, so I'll give you another example. That was an easy one. So that was Algeria.
I'm sorry, can you, one more time? D is, what goes into your Mary Kay account, and then E or C minus D is what you pay
This is what
yourself.
you order with. Yep, and this is paying yourself.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Let's say you have, for the DNC, you have debt from your initial inventory. How much of
Holding this
that,
column E.
how much of that would you give yourself? How much of that would you put towards debt? Or
This
is it
here?
up to you?
I'll explain that in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna remember that question because I'll show you what I did. The next customer is Kitty. Her name's Catherine, but she's a good customer of mine. Now this is an example. I do a birthday discount. They get 25% off if they order in their birthday month. So Kitty ordered 2 satin hand creams. How exciting. So how much retail product did I take off my shelf? $14, right? That's the total product I removed. 14. Sales tax is 91 cents. How much money did I collect? Yep. Now what you're gonna see in these next couple examples is how discounts affect paying yourself. So you need to give them sometimes, but you're gonna see it. So it's important to see this. So my 60% account, I went 60% times 14 plus the 91 cents, so this is $9.31. Your business income is $2.10. So that's how much you made on that sale. Okay, next example. Heather Collins. Okay, now Heather was a guest to my St. Peter Pizza event. I needed guests real bad. So I offered her what I offered, $40 in free product to come? Yep, $40 in free product. Okay, I am not above a bribe. So I said, Heather, if you can bring some friends, I'll give you $40 in free product. So you're gonna see, okay, this is a good example. So how much, what goes in column A? How much retail product did I take off my shelf?
65.
Very good. You guys are getting it, I love it. Okay, sales tax is $4.26. How much money was in hand?
29.
Yep. So this is how much retail product I had, but I'm only collecting $29.76. But even though I'm only collecting this, I still need to replace this on my shelf. Is this making sense?
Yep.
Okay, so my 60% account is going to be $43.56. My business income minus negative $13.80.
So you would put money, you would put $13.80 into your Mary Kay account.
No.
Your
This
other
is,
account?
you're gonna subtract, this is, now here's what you do. These are columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you give Candace her stuff back too. Eventually what you're gonna do, we're gonna do this after my next 2 examples, you're gonna add them up. So, you know, you can add them up whenever. You could wait till 10 customers and then add up,
Oh,
this is my
okay.
business.
This
So
isn't
this'll
after
just-
like, this is one class that you had?
Yeah,
So-
or
so
some
I mean,
reorders.
okay.
Yeah, so you can kind of add this up whenever and do running totals. So I'm going to do that in a little minute here. The next one is Missy. She was a reorder. She reordered her skincare. $54, right? total product I took off my shelf. Sales tax $351. $57.51 total collected, so no discounts here, no giveaways, this is actual stuff. So my account here is $35.91, my business income is $21.60. And then the last example is Sue. Sue is another one, no discounts. So you see how discounts will affect you, just be aware of it. You have to, you know, you have to get people, people want free stuff too, so you do have to give them something. So $189, this was an Ultimate Miracle set she reordered. Skincare, are you seeing why skincare is so important to sell? Because that's where you're getting the big reorders. I don't have Sue on here, sorry, I didn't make a sheet for her. So total sales tax was $12.29, money in hand was $201.29. The account here is $125.69, and business income is $75.70. So see how on one reorder, I have some good profit. Okay, now these are just kind of reorders and a guess. This isn't like a big skincare class or anything. I'm just giving you, I'm trying to give you examples of discounts, no discounts, whatever. So now I'm gonna make a running total, so you can just, whenever you want, you could fill up the whole sheet and then make a total. So this is what you make a running total of, okay? How much do I need to order? Okay, so you have enough to place a $200 order. And then your business income is $107.80. So you add up all these numbers, including the negative one, you add in the negative. Okay, so let's say Candace's thing. When I started Mary Kay, I put my inventory in a credit card that was 12% interest. My payments every month were $116.28. Here's what I did. These are reorders, but let's say I held a class, right? And this was like 120, this got to 120, I would take $116.28 out of here, make that payment for the month, then everything else I profited that month went to me. Does that make sense? So you take the profit you need to make your payment, but then once you have that payment done, so I pretty much made my payment with 1.5 skincare classes. And then I was like, whew, I have 5 more this month, that means all the profit from those 5 is going to me. And it did.
The thing is though, is your card has interest, so you shouldn't be paying the minimum.
Right, but it is a business
Mhm.
expense, so you get to deduct that interest on your taxes. Do you want to pay it off? You can pay it off sooner if you want. You can devote more to this. Here's the point I want you to know. Don't ever, ever, ever not pay yourself something. Here's why. At least give yourself a little chunk of something. Because if you're out holding skincare classes, your husband's watching your kids every night, you're out running around and he's not seeing, your family doesn't see anything coming in from it, they're gonna be like, why are you doing this, right? So you need to pay yourself something. And this is just an example of a couple reorders. Okay, so imagine your Power Start, doesn't matter if you're new, you can sell a lot of Power Start. Imagine your Power Start, but I want you to understand, so do you guys have any clue about this? Becky?
So that money, I mean, D and E together is pretty much what you're getting, right?
Yep, this is what you order with. Like,
Yeah.
you place orders to Mary Kay, this
Or,
is
I'm
what.
sorry, let's talk about C. C
Yeah.
is D and E together, correct?
C is money in hand.
Yeah.
So C is the sales tax you
Okay.
collected. And
Oh.
if you gave any discounts, that'll come out
Okay.
of there, but otherwise it's this plus this. But see, I gave a discount here,
Yeah.
so that's why these two don't add up.
So what happens, so let's say I wait to pay myself till the end of the month or something like that. So all this money is sitting in one account at
Mhm.
this point, right? And
You
then I
can,
just,
you can open 2 separate accounts. You can do a
Mhm.
checking and a savings or a checking and a checking and keep these separate. If you wanna get really good with your money, that's what I do.
and then, but then do you do it after every customer, or how often?
It's up to you.
I mean,
do-
but until you pay yourself, all that money is sitting together.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
you could leave it all sitting in your inventory
Mhm.
account, and then just move over into your personal
Yeah.
what you're paying yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I know Bessa's the queen of this. She taught me this. So if you ever get confused, like yeah, but I would just throw it all in your inventory account, move it over into the personal advice. Don't do it the other way.
Okay, and you have 3, like you have your own bank account, you have your order bank account, and you have your Mary Kay profit bank account?
Yes.
Is that right? You
And I
three.
have a joint checking account with my husband.
Yeah.
I have like 5 checking accounts. But it's good. It's good for my brain because I can keep it all separate. And that way, if you have a problem where you're homeless and you're over ordering, Okay, I know it's kind of a bad example, but order with a debit card. Stop ordering with a credit card because you will over order every time. You order with a debit card and you have this in your inventory account, guess what? You're gonna be on track with your money all the time. Okay? Any other, Mary Kay? Yes.
What do you do with personal use?
Yes. Now, Bessa, the Queen of Money Management, actually writes a check out to herself for that product. Even though she bought the product, she treats herself as a customer, writes out a check to herself, because then this makes more sense. But you would write Mary Tessum, right? I don't know if I spelled that right, sorry. And let's say you took out a basic set, right? So you still need to replace this. So total retail product is 54. Sales tax. Now here's the thing about sales tax I want you to know. Sales tax is a wash. Now what I mean by that is you pay it to Mary Kay, you recover it from your customers. Then you pay it to Mary Kay, then you recover it from your customers. You're never really making money or losing, you shouldn't lose money. Sometimes we do, but it's a wash. Okay, does that make sense? It just sort of carries over. So I would count this as not recovered sales tax. You can actually do that. Talk to Jack Betcher. Unless you want to pay yourself sales tax. So this would be 3, well, you actually wouldn't collect it. Yeah, just don't, let's just say you don't collect it. Money in hand, nothing. You didn't, unless you write yourself a check, right? And then, but you still need to replace that, so you're still gonna have 3591 in here, and you're gonna be negative here. Practice it. Here's what your challenge for this week is to print these off. Whatever sales you have this week, or if you take personal product off, just practice this. It's like anything, we just need to practice more. Okay, so you're making money now with your Mary Kay because you are tracking your money and you know where it's going. Are you guys excited about this? Like knowing where your stuff's going?
Yep.
Okay, get control now, because it's not all of a sudden when you're a director, it magically happens that you just know how to manage your money. Doesn't happen. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you something. If you have debt or you want to invest, this is a great way to do it. I learned this from Teresa Romaine and from Bessa. It's just a cool thing. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to do it, but I've had some unit members do it. My personal friend Bessa has paid off over $20,000 in 20 months doing this. I've paid off debt doing this, so I know that people have done it and it works, okay? So, here's what I want. It's called Freedom First, because here's what happens. Who went to college? Just out of curious. Okay, remember, you guys ever think, like, okay, we all make decent money now, way more than we made in college, right? Do you ever think back on those days and think, gosh, how did I ever live on, like, nothing? Right? Yeah. And now it seems like it doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you make and how much you keep of what you make. Because wouldn't you agree that sometimes the more you make, the more you spend? Mm-hmm. And sometimes what happens, okay, and I've seen this a lot with Mary Kay people, the more we make, we feel like we have this image we have to keep up, and so we spend more to maintain an image. Okay, but I'm all about freedom. I really think being debt-free is freedom, like we talked about. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, just imagine your life. I remember when I was 25, which was 2 years ago, and I was totally debt-free for Mary Kay, because I had bought this other business. I mean, I could list it all out, but it was such a freeing thing. It does so much for your brain, right? So, okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to go home, and you can try this. I want you to list out all your debt. Just list it. Credit cards. How are you feeling about that?
No, because Bessa went over this with me and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I can face that.
You need to acknowledge it so you can face it and you can get control and do something about it. You can do it. So you list them all out. Okay? So I'm gonna list out, I made these up. These might be from personal experience, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's say you have a Kohl's charge. Right? Isn't it easy to spend a lot at Kohl's? I have a problem with that. Okay, and let's say you owe $450 on your Kohl's charge, and the interest is really awful. It's 22.2%, because they are really bad. And your payment, okay, so this is going to be the payments column. Now, just so you know, if you're a technical person, I totally made these numbers up. These aren't actual payments. Like, just made these up. Doesn't matter. So the payment every month is $50. Okay, so you list that out, and then you're like, oh, I got a Chase Visa. Then you list down your Chase Visa. And there's $1,750 on it. 10.99% interest. Payment every month is $100. And then you got a car payment. This is fun. Aren't you excited? And you have $9,000 left on your car. As an example, 6% interest. Is that about right for a car loan? 6%?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I kind of thought so. Your payment is about $300. Made that up. And you have a Citi MasterCard. Okay. And you have $4,000 left. I think this is pretty average. Most people have at least this much. Maybe not. I don't, but a lot of people do. 8.99% interest, $190 a month. Okay, so you list them out. Now you can, I'm gonna talk about mortgage in a second, just leave that off for now. List out like the revolving balances that you have. These are called revolving balances. Well, yeah, because they're credit cards, your car payment is kind of more of a Citi loan. Put your inventory loan on here, if you want. Okay, so whatever, just go home and make a list of these. Talk with your husband about this, he'll love it. Okay. Now, here's what you need to decide. You're gonna decide on something called a booster rocket. Doesn't that sound fun? Booster rocket? Rocket booster, some people call it in my unit. What's that rocket booster thing? Now, wouldn't you guys agree that everybody in this room, I believe this with my heart, that everybody in this room could profit $100 extra for a booster rocket? Like, don't you guys think with your Mary Kay and what we just talked about that you could find $100 extra to set aside a month with your Mary Kay business? Does anyone not agree with that? Candace, yeah, you could do that, right? 100, but we're gonna start low. You could start lower, you could start with $50. The only reason I did 100 is because I'm not good at math, and so I thought 100 would be a nice round number. So let's say your booster, so just pick, now what your booster rocket really is, it's any money you can scrounge up at the end of the month after all your bills are paid, after everything's paid. Okay, not everyone has a lot extra, even if it's $25, even if it's 10. Okay, that's your booster rocket. Whatever it is, there's no judgment. I mean, you could have a big one if you make lots and lots of money, whatever. So we're gonna say that the booster rocket in this situation is $100 because I think that is doable for every single consultant in this room. Okay, now, who wants to guess? I know some of you know this, so we'll let some of the other people guess. This is awful, kind of messy. Okay, which one of these do your instincts tell you to pay off first?
Kohl's highest interest rate.
Any other guesses? Yeah, that's a good guess.
Probably wants to say card payment because it's the highest.
Yeah. Here's what you're gonna do. Let's say this Kohl's charge, let's say this was 2% interest. Which one would you
Chase Visa.
Okay, here's the point I want you to know. Wouldn't you agree that when it comes to money, it's all mental, right? We feel gross about it, we don't like you didn't even want to list out your debts, like,
I did it.
Right?
I listed the cards.
yeah, but it's not, it doesn't make you feel
Like
good,
sweating
right?
Because of it, yeah. No.
So, this is an unconventional approach to money management. Probably most financial advisors would, like, their skin would peel saying this, but you pay off in order, lowest balance to highest. Because wouldn't you agree that if you could pay off this Kohl's charge, imagine, okay, so that's one whole thing that you could erase off the board psychologically. Have you ever done that where even if you paid off a card and you're like, victory! You need that psychological boost. I don't care what the interest is. You need that boost. So here's what you do. Okay, so your payment every month is this. Your booster rocket is this. You're gonna take your booster rocket, $100, add it to this card. So now, instead of paying $50 every month in your Kohl's charge, you're paying $150. Okay? Right? Nobody's confused by that. You just add your booster rocket to this minimum payment. You're gonna pay this off in 3 months. Right? So 3 months go by, and these are all like being paid while you're paying that, so.
The minimums.
Yeah, minimums. Okay, so here's the thing. So, okay, you're like, sweet, I paid off my clothes charge, right? You go like this. Now, you were paying this at your clothes charge. You were fine, right? It's money you didn't have anyway. So now you're gonna take this and add it to your next bill. So now you're gonna, instead of $100 towards this card, towards the Chase Visa, you're gonna be paying $250 a month. Does that make sense? You're gonna pay this off in 7 months. It's money you didn't have before. Okay, so 7 months go by. And you're like, oh, I did it. I'm so awesome. Now, this was $250 you had before that you never had. You just pretend like you didn't have. You're gonna add it to this. You're paying $550 off. Now I mixed these. These two should be the other way around because this is the lower balance. Whoops. Doesn't matter. You get the point. So now you're paying $550 because $250 what you're paying with all of these old payments added to the $300. So instead of the minimum, you're now putting $550 towards this. You're gonna pay that off in 16 months. Now, at any time, you can add to your booster rocket. Say you do a couple power starts in a row, you really get some things rocking, you get some commission checks. You can add more to that booster rocket. I'm just doing it with $100. So okay, so now you're paying $550. Now you add the $550 to the $190 and you get $740. So you're gonna, instead of $190 a month, this last card, you're gonna be paying $740 a month. You're gonna have this baby paid off in 5.5 months. Isn't that cool? Now here's where it gets really fun. So you pay everything off, right? You're feeling free because you're reducing some debt. So now, this is what you have. What are we laughing about?
We're gonna go buy shoes.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna put ourselves in debt
Good.
again.
No. Good point. Now you have this $740 that you didn't have before. This is where this whole thing. Bessa was here. She'd write a big word called discipline across the board because that's what this this isn't not. It's simple. Is it easy? No, because we see this and we're like, sweet. I want to go get a new couch or I want to go buy a new car. I can do that now because I have this payment or whatever. Now, you have some things to decide on. You could now invest this money, $740 a month. This is on top of all your other bills. This is just extra money you have every month. You could invest this, accumulate massive amounts of wealth. Now, here's what you could do with it. This is where I get excited. If you put it towards your mortgage, okay? My mortgage, we owe still $215,000 on our house. Our mortgage payment is right around $1,500. Okay? If I added this to this, it would be $2,240 that I'm now putting towards the mortgage instead of $1,500. I would pay off my mortgage, my house, in 8 years.
Cool.
Now, there are people, I know what Diane's gonna say.
No.
Oh.
Tell me where your numbers came from
Okay.
again.
This is what you have extra, right?
Yeah, I have that.
This is my current house payment, but if I added this to
Oh,
this, I
got
get
it.
this.
Right. Okay.
Now, a lot of people, this is what I said when I first heard this. I'm like, oh no, don't want to pay off your house because that is this awesome tax deduction with the interest. Any of you own houses?
Mhm.
Yeah, you get a great tax deduction. But then I thought about it and I was like, so what? If you paid this off in 8 years, now you're going to have $2,240 a month to invest, build wealth. You're going to be rich. You don't have to be a national. This is a $100 booster rocket a month. And you're going to get way more money doing this than some tax deduction. Tax deduction is great, don't get me wrong, but this is true freedom. No house payment. You just have like your electricity every month and your ongoing bills that you have to pay. Isn't that exciting? It takes a lot of discipline, but you can do this. I get excited. So, Yeah, so what questions do you have about this? Does this make sense? Yeah.
It does, but when you were listing off all of the debts and stuff,
Mhm.
you went right down the row. Well, I've heard that you go the lowest, and then the next lowest, and then the next lowest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she said she mixed
Yeah, I
them up.
mixed up
Oh,
the list
oh,
too. It
gotcha,
should have
okay,
been, you're
sorry.
right, it should have been like
Sorry.
that. Yeah, the 9,000 was here and then the 4,000
Yeah.
and they should have been switched around.
Okay,
You're
I just
right.
wanted to make sure everybody
Yeah.
knew that.
Yep,
then-
so, yeah, what I would do is
Yeah.
list all your stuff out and then reorder it. Sometimes the listing can take a little while, right?
Yeah.
Fun stuff. But I just think that, you know, not everyone in this room is going to be a national. I'll just put that out there. I think many of you in the room could do it, and you will be nationals. But not everyone in the room is gonna. Mary Kay, she winks at me. Mary Kay is not the end all to end alls for every person. So while you're in Mary Kay and you have this journey, you can do this. Anybody can do this. Director, consultant, new consultant, $100 booster rocket. Any other questions you guys have about this? Diane, any questions you thought of? What time is it?
You have, do you want to know, it's 7:55.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you want, like, if you want support on this kind of thing, have any of you ever, well, besides you guys, have you ever heard of Teresa Romaine? Yeah, she actually teaches this. And she's a business coach. She's really goofy. I love her. And she will actually, she does like a coaching program. I know that's what Bessa did, but I mean, I've seen that girl pay off over 20. She will be debt free in June, and her and her husband are looking at a house right now. And she said at her debut that she's gonna pay off her house in like 9 years. Remember when she said that? This is how she, you probably looked at her like, lady, are you crazy? This is how she's gonna do it. And she's been really disciplined about it. And it's never too late. Like, if you are so in debt, like a lot of people are, it's never too late to get control of it. And there's no judgment about it, because we've all, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I used to have a lot of debt. And it wasn't because I was irresponsible and out buying things. It was, you know, when you're a new married person, you have wedding debt, and then I bought that business, and then, you know, just things add up, and all of a sudden you're $20,000, $30,000 in debt. You don't even know how it happened. So take care of your money, pay yourself. I know you've been tracking it, right?
Yeah.
Is it helping you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and I know Allison Nealand, another consultant, she just had a little baby, but her and her husband got really excited about the Freedom First thing, and they already paid off 2 cards doing it, and they're just excited. Like, you're excited about money. And you know what happens when you get that great energy about money? You're gonna start building a real team, because you believe in Mary Kay, and you really believe that Mary Kay is something that women can do that makes money. Sometimes I don't think we believe that, right? Like I gave you the example of that consultant before, but you can make money. And so it's your responsibility to get this down. So like I said, fill out your business tracking register for a couple weeks. Bring it in. I'll sit down. If you're an adoptee, of course I'll sit down with you and check it. That's totally fine. Like, I want to make sure everyone's on track. So let me shut the camera.
Yay.